South Korea, like Bangladesh, was a poor country in the 1960s. Since then, through its dynamic leadership and activities, it has become a developed nation now. It has started supporting the other countries around the world, and Bangladesh is one of them. This year, the two countries are celebrating 50 years of diplomatic relationship. South Korean Ambassador Mr. Lee Jan-keun will share details about our journey together. Welcome to our show, Ambassador Lee.
Okay, thank you for inviting me.
You came to Bangladesh as ambassador in 2020 when the coronavirus pandemic was at the peak, and South Korea became headlines because of its sophisticated healthcare services. And there were talks that South Korea will and Bangladesh jointly will start a new initiative, Vaccine Institute, or Korea will support in tech-savvy healthcare system in Bangladesh. What is the status of that?
This pandemic time also created some other opportunities for our two countries to further deepen our relations, especially in addressing this pandemic consequences. So I was very happy that South Korea provided $150 million of soft loan in budgetary support form, which was very concessional terms with the interest rate less than 0.1%. This concessional loan helped Bangladesh government's effort to overcome the consequences of corona pandemic. So it showed some kind of friendship between our two countries. And at the same time, I also remember there was a discussion regarding the setting up of International Vaccine Institute here. I remember that was somewhat June 2021 when Prime Minister Hashina attended the parliamentary session. He spoke about that Bangladesh is discussing with South Korea for establishing International Vaccine Institute with the aim of producing vaccines locally. At that time, there was some serious discussions on Bangladesh's accession to the IVI, International Vaccine Institute. It's an international organization headquartered in Korea, Seoul.
Okay.
So Bangladesh was on the process of joining this international organization with the hope of having some support from the organization, including the possibility of having some vaccine institute here. By July 2021, after 1 month of this Prime Minister Hashina's mentioning about this vaccine collaboration, Bangladesh joined IVI as a full member. Actually, Bangladesh was one of the founding member of this organization when it established. It was established in 1997, but it did not accede to the organization for a long time. But this pandemic gave Bangladesh an opportunity to become a full member. And this organization is to help the developing countries for securing, for delivering vaccines for various types, and also the research and the R&D the activities is also one of its functions. So by joining the IVI, I think Bangladesh might have a big support and help from these international organizations. And I think there will be some active collaboration between Bangladesh and this IVI.
Okay. Ambassador, so Bangladesh and South Korea bilateral trade is quite robust. I think the total amount now is over $3 billion. But this is heavily tilted towards South Korea. And what's your suggestion how Bangladesh can increase its exports to South Korea? What are the products that our businesses can add?
Actually, when it comes to the bilateral trade, I'd like to point out two important elements. First is that Korea is giving duty-free, quota-free access to more than 95% of Bangladeshi product, whereas Korean product should face high rate of duties when it want to come to Bangladesh market.
Okay.
So since 2012, Korea has given this preferential treatment to Bangladesh product. So that should be actively utilized by Bangladesh exporters. And second element is that, very strangely, our bilateral trade, the volume has been somewhat stagnant for more than 1 decade after it reached the highest level in 2011. So in 2011, our bilateral trade volume was $1.8 billion. But until 2020, more than 10 years, that level stayed the same or even further decreased. It was somewhat unusual. Our two economies have been growing continuously, but our bilateral trade volume has been stagnant. That means somewhat reduced and decreased. So this is a very abnormal situation.
Okay.
But finally, this situation became changed from 2021. And 2021, we crossed, our trade volume crossed $2 billion. And 2022, just last year, this trade volume crossed $3 billion. So for this 2-3 years time, our trade volume almost doubled. So that means there are huge potential between Korea and Bangladesh in further expanding our trade. So my point is that the trade balance is important, but there are many aspects that should be considered, not just the figures of the deficit.
Okay.
And there should be much more effort from both sides to maximize the potential of our two countries' business. So in that sense, Bangladesh should make more vigorous effort to get access to the duty quota-free market of Korea.
Utilize the
yes.
facility.
Yes, and also another important thing I have to emphasize is the cash incentives that is given by Bangladesh government to the Bangladesh exporters. So you have this policy of cash incentive when Bangladesh companies export abroad. At least they have 1% of cash incentives. But if they export to the so-called non-traditional market other than European Union or United States, then the government gives 4% of cash incentives. And Korea is among the non-traditional market. So if Bangladesh exporters and business people, they export to Korea, then they have this 4% of incentives. That is a very big benefit and advantage. So that should be fully utilized by Bangladesh business sector.
Ambassador, so South Korea is the 6th largest foreign direct investor in Bangladesh, which is now $1.43 billion. You have started in RMG and then moved to other areas, infrastructure, electronics, ICT. But we see that ICT is not really, growing. Or is there any issue?
As you said, Korea has been a major foreign investor in this country continuously for the past several decades. Even though now our place is the 6th largest investor, but Korea used to be 4th, 5th largest. And out of Korea's investment, around 80% is in the RMG sector. So it's too much focused on or centered on RMG. So diversification of Korean investment in Bangladesh is also a very big task for us, not only for Bangladesh, but from Korean side as well. So we are making many efforts to expand and to diversify these investment areas. But so far, and out of that, this ICT is an area where there are high expectation, especially from the Bangladesh side. So now I do not know any, the significant plan in the ICT sector. The Korean companies plan to come here for investments. But I can say that there are, increasing or continuous discussions among the companies of our two countries. The companies of ICT related.
Okay.
So now there is no real actual ICT direct investor by Korean company here, but they're in the form of a partnership.
Okay.
Major Korean electronic companies like Samsung or LG, they are already locally assembling their product. So this is bring about many benefits to Bangladesh's local economy. First, in the sense of job creation, and more importantly, in the technology and know-how transfer by this major multinational Korean company to Bangladesh.
And in the 5-year plan, the previous one, Korea's overseas development assistance was, I think, $700 million, but it has been increased to $3 billion in the current year. So it's a big jump.
Yes.
So what is in your mind? What really do you want to support? How you want to support Bangladesh?
Actually, when it comes to the development cooperation, Bangladesh has been one of the core development partner of Korea's overseas development assistance. But what you told about this $3 billion is it's our soft loan, concessional loan. This is the soft loan, concessional loan we are providing to the developing countries for the development of large size of the economic project or infrastructure development projects. So our condition is very good. The EDCF is the interest rate for Bangladesh is as low as 0.04%, like that.
Okay.
So it's less than 0.1%. And repayment period is for 40 years with 15 years of grace period. So because of this very good condition, there was a big demand and request from Bangladesh government to increase this cap. But we could not increase that. Even the $700 million for 5-year term was somewhat increased volume. But last year, my government decided to significantly increase this volume from $700 to $3 billion for 5 years period, which is a very big jump and a very big development in our bilateral relations. And I'm very happy to see that this is happening during my mandate. So, the importance of this big the jump of our soft loan is that, we can collaborate in a more, substantial, bigger the development programs. But now, as we are having this $3 billion, size of these loan programs, we could collaborate in more bigger, substantial development program in Bangladesh.
Currently, there are 20,000 Bangladeshi migrants in South Korea, and their per capita remittance is quite impressive. So, what can Bangladesh do to attract the South Korean employers so they recruit more from here?
Yes. The pandemic situation was slowed down. We decided to take more Bangladesh expatriate workers to Korea. The 2022 last year, we took 6,000 Bangladesh workers. So before from around 105,000 annually, the last year alone, we took 6,000 Bangladesh workers. Huge increase.
Yeah.
But more than that, this year, 2023, we plan to take at least 10,000 workers.
Okay.
So just for 2 years, you will see.
Yeah, that's also a quite significant jump.
Significant increase of the numbers. The key requirement we are asking Bangladesh migrant workers is the Korean language skills.
Okay.
Because they have to work with the Korean employers who do not speak Bangla, who may not speak English. So communication language is the must and very important element. And for that, in order to go to Korea, these potential workers have to pass the Korean language test. There are some countries which are more capable of speaking or commanding Korean language.
Okay.
So Korean employers prefer to have workers from that country. But Bangladesh is also becoming more and more popular sourcing country. And another element is the observation of the rules and regulations and also the mode of the society in Korea among those who are already in Korea. Because if that also creates some kind of image or reputation of Bangladesh workers. So fortunately now Bangladesh workers in Korea have a somewhat positive and good image among Korean people. Okay. So that means they are following the rules, norms and regulations, and somewhat low rate of illegal stay.
Okay. So that's a positive thing.
Yeah, that is positive things. Then, and if it continues, then the Korean authorities might allocate more numbers to Bangladesh.
There, I have another thing to learn. As a Korean music, the BTS, K-pop, K-drama. So these are very popular. I mean, worldwide, and of course in Bangladesh as well. So what does Korea do right for this?
I think there might be some combination of factors that is making this happen. These factors, I can say, first of all, is democratization of Korea.
Okay.
It's political democratization, and also the very particular Korean culture. The Korea has a very dynamic culture, what we call pali-pali. It's a tari-taratari culture.
Okay.
And that culture, and also this development of ICT technology, ICT platforms, internet and YouTube. This ICT development and environment, and also this globalization of the world. So all these the factors combined is making what Korean dramas or films or or songs, even sports food, is getting popular around the world. So to me, democratization means freeing people.
Yes.
And empowering people.
Empowering people.
So if people
bring out the creativity.
Yes. So if people are freed and if people are empowered, then those who have talent and creativity can show their creativity.
Yes. You have been in Bangladesh for almost 3 years, and you'll be leaving soon. What is the most interesting memory that you have started missing?
Most important thing for me to have in Bangladesh is to learn about Bangladesh and Bangladesh people. If I have not come here, then maybe I might not know about Bangladesh. But now I know Bangladesh, I know Bangladesh people, I know the very vibrant Bangladesh society and very warm-hearted Bangladesh people, and also very deep eagerness of Bangladesh government and the people to become better, to have a brighter future.
As you said, you now understand much better than you did in the past. And we can hope that wherever you go, you'll be an ambassador of not only South Korea, but also of Bangladesh.
Yes.
And with that, we end our show here.
Okay.
Thank you very much
Okay.
for
Thank you.
for having your time here.
Yeah, okay. Thanks so much for inviting me. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure. Real pleasure.